Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and currently in Moscow, Wargaming Fest 2017 is in full swing, and while I attended it last year, this year I just couldn't miss the Christmas holidays with my family. But the best thing about Wargaming Fest is we get to find out what the plans are for World of Tanks in 2018. And right off the bat, it looks like we finally have a release date for what we're calling HD maps, but Wargaming is now calling it World of Tanks 1.0. And that's because, remember, we've never really entered version 1 of the game. It's 0.9.21.0.2 currently. And so I'm going to react to their gameplay trailer in real time. I haven't watched it yet. Okay, Michael Bay right off the bat with those sound effects. Alright, so I guess we're looking at Himmelsdorf here. Oh, isn't it so pretty? Wow, what map is this? Some kind of waterfall? I can't even get it. I believe that's probably going to be steps, some kind of waterfall on steps. Okay, that definitely looks like San River. No, it's actually looking like Prokhorovka now? An irrelevant eagle.
Rediscover tank combat.
Rediscover tank combat, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. It does look really nice. So this is all gameplay we're seeing here. I wonder if they brushed it up a little bit. I'm not sure if they have.
Sharpen your senses.
I love it when the tanks go through the water. It does look... I like the glistening. Okay. World of Tanks is not like that. Artillery? What?
Crank the action up to the max.
Okay. We've got people in our game too.
New graphics engine.
Oh yeah. Pressure waves look amazing.
Sound. Redesigned maps.
Those are the three things they're pimping.
Supercharge your experience.
Supercharge your experience. Okay, World of Tanks 1.0, March 2018. That's really the big one when we think about it. The fact that we've finally got a release date, ladies and gentlemen, for the HD maps. Wargaming have committed to March now. It's a little bit of a shame they didn't have it in time for Christmas, but I'd rather wait the few extra months to have it all shiny and perfect. Okay, let's see how they are describing version 1 of a game that has been out for 6-7 years now. So this year they fixed the game's core long-standing issues with the matchmaker. Well, I don't think it's fixed, but that's an opinion. Artillery, light tanks, what? There was no issue with light tanks. I do agree that they have revised some vehicles to establish unique gameplay narratives. That's true. So apparently now they're finished with the fundamental changes, but they're going to fix premium vehicle in Tier 8 matchmaking, okay? Vehicle balancing is a much longer journey, but their focus in 2018 will be delivering greater visual and sound fidelity, enriching the game with new vehicles and new ways to experience tank combat. Wow. As well as new fun-fueled events. We are dropping some juicy details on the game's future at Wargaming Fest. So first up, a new graphics engine. Update 1.0, well I guess is better than calling it version 10 of the game like they did with the Rubicon, huh? I see how they've dodged that bullet. With a new graphics engine and over 25 ultra-realistic maps. Well, I think there's at least 35 unique maps in the game, I believe. So I wonder what's going to happen to the other 10. Maybe they're going to remove them completely, maybe they're going to be putting them into the game at a future date. Or maybe they'll just leave them as standard editions. Am I asking questions that will be answered, or we'll have to find out? Okay, so this impressive revamp has been 4 years in the making. I guess since they taunted us with the Havoc engine, right? They want to give the game a modern look while also ensuring your rig can enjoy it. See, this is the big problem that Wargaming have, and that is that their biggest player base in Russia, and frankly, Russian PCs are not the same as the majority of Western users, and so they have to make sure that whatever they do can still be scaled back to the basic graphics, or they face alienating their base. Player base. So it looks like they're going to completely get rid of the big world client of which the original game was based on, and I think Wargaming became so successful that they actually purchased the company that was making Big World, I guess so they could maintain complete control of their engine. And their new engine is called enCore. That's one of the worst N logos I've seen. And this apparently took 3 years and a crew of several hundred people to make. Wow, fantastic stuff. Alright, 25 plus redesigned maps. Well, as you've seen in my HD maps preview, you'll know that really the gameplay is maintained, while obviously the look is completely different. Vast expanses, realistic terrain. Really, if you want to look at all of this, just go watch my HD World of Tanks maps video. And that's actually in 4K, and it looks a damn sight better than Wargaming's trailer. But if you haven't watched that video and you're not willing to do so, then they provided some screenshots, but these really do not do it justice. So next up, there's remastered sound. Okay, the enhancements didn't end with the visuals. They've teamed up with over 40 composers and musicians from all around the world and recorded over 15 terabytes of rough audio data to improve the immersion in battle with authentic sound. Well, hopefully we're not going to have a 15 terabyte download. I think they're just throwing numbers at here to sound impressive. But if they can improve the score of World of Tanks, then I guess their goal is to make each map have a character. And I've personally been enjoying returning on the sound in World of Tanks in the last, I think, 6 months for the first time in 6 years. And I guess there's going to be more reason than ever to keep it on in Update 1.0. That sounds so weird to say. I'm not going to get used to it. Right, next up, they've made steps to improve the optimization with a special procedural virtual texture that was introduced to deliver realistic landscapes. Okay, more buzzwords, whatever. Now they're going to be talking about World of Tanks enCore, which is Wargaming's kind of hybrid test server, a way for you to be able to check the performance of your rig. So while Wargaming has a video that shows you all about their enCore system, I thought, why not just download it and show it myself? Okay, so once you've downloaded it, you can find your computer configuration. The top left, I'm running an i7-6700K. It says at 4, but I'm actually running it at 4.5. I'm using a GTX 980 Ti and 32 gigs of RAM. So yeah, my computer is pretty beefy, as you would expect, considering this has kind of become a full-time occupation. So it looks like there are 3 different presets in the graphical settings. You can either test it at minimum. Yeah, I remember World of Tanks looking like that. Medium or ultra. And why is it for me that the only real difference between medium and ultra, at least that I can see, is that there's more clutter? But then again, the mountains do look better. Look at the shadows on the mountains and the greenery there. Yeah, the greens are very much more high fidelity. All right, well, let's click that test button. Wow, sounds exciting, enCore. I still think this looks more like the bat plane, the Batmobile going into a tunnel. I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy. Okay, so one thing we should take into account is that I'm recording my screen at the same time, so I've got an eye on how much of my CPU is being used up, and if it does start to cap out, I'll tell you, but it seems to have no problem here. Looks like we're displaying at 60 FPS, but of course this is only 1080. My GPU should be able to do at least 50 FPS in 4K. Well, it does look delicious. Looks pretty delicious. Okay, still using only 70% of my CPU. Will it go higher? Wow, this is a loud trailer. Okay, T62A rolling out. Or is it a 140? Not 100% certain. Gotta have a closer look. Okay, is my CPU gonna die? 83%? Okay, so just to let you know, OBS is actually doing 50% right now, and World of Tanks itself is doing 33%. Wow, okay. So World of Tanks is now taking up 33% of my CPU. And remember, I am using a quad core, and my quad core is running at 4.5. Oh, this game looks delicious. I can't wait to have this running in 4K. That's one of my goals for 2013. Spoilers, though. Oh, that mouse. He obviously needs to get his Mauer breaker out. Whatever the hell do you pronounce that word? Okay, goodbye, FE4005. This guy clearly knows what he's doing. This is not at all scripted in any way. Oh, that water looks lovely. So still 80%, but 50% of that is down to my program. So my CPU has not gone over about 35% usage, but I have got a pretty good CPU. Oh, a little bit of FPS loss there. That is because now it's gone up to 40% usage. My CPU is being used up 40%. And it's apparently using up 99% of my GPU as well. Well, that's quite interesting. I wonder why it's using up so much of my GPU. It doesn't look like it's in 4K. Good night, sweetheart. I wonder if this is actually in 4K right now. It does look absolutely amazing on my screen. Obviously, you guys are only going to be able to see 1080. I've got a funny feeling that this program has actually gone full screen and changed the resolution of my monitor, but I'm not 100% certain about that. I think that is what's happened, even though I had the testing at the 1080. Because I can't imagine how it'd be using up 95% of my CPU. This is a pretty cool cinematic when you think about it. Is this what World of Tanks is really going to look like in March? It's going to be pretty cool, ladies and gents. That's it. That looks like that is the end. 7 seconds left, as we can see in the top right-hand corner of the screen. I only got a few drops, but again, that is because I am recording the screen in real time. That is what's going to cause the issues. I got a great result. Apparently my performance rating was 22,498. If you guys get better than that, then let me know in the comments down below. I don't even know how that score is, but affirmative. Good stuff. And it would actually be a really cool thing to do in the comments of this video if you download Wargaming's enCore testing program, write down what your CPU is, your GPU, so on and so forth, and say what kind of a score you got and what kind of settings, the preset you were able to achieve. And did you drop FPS or did it look like a buttery 60? Let's try and find out. One thing that'll be really interesting for me to do, obviously with Wargaming making their game version 1.0 of World of Tanks, I really want to know what kind of a computer is necessary to be able to run it at 1080 in 60 FPS, because I think that's what a lot of you will be interested in. So I'll try and work something out as we get closer towards the release date. Oh, this is actually quite useful. If you click the Go to Screenshots button, it will take you to where it's actually recorded a screenshot of the result. So maybe you could just share that. But one thing that surprises me about this is why doesn't Wargaming have like an FPS chart? So you can see where your computer drops or where it doesn't drop. Surely that's the most useful thing. Nevertheless, that is Wargaming's enCore program. Go check it out yourself if you want to see how your rig is going to perform. And clearly it looks like version 1.0 of the game is going to be the best looking version to date, and massively. It is a biggest step up in my opinion since the physics were added in version 8.0 of the game. So ladies and gentlemen, that's everything that I know so far from Wargaming Fest. If we get any other big juicy details, then stay tuned to my social media and also on my YouTube channel. I'll get you everything that is important to know. And I hope you enjoyed this video, or maybe it was just useful to you. If it was, please consider giving it a like, but if you hated it, give it a dislike. And I'm really looking forward to seeing your results and comments of how juicy and tasty that World of Tanks action looked. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.